What you talking about, Builder Terry?
Okay, so how do you feel about, you know, well, let's back up for a minute. Now that over in the Tampa Bay area, there was over 100 cigar lounges. Um, but we can pinpoint the ones that has cutting fees or they have certain rules that really determines if the consumer gonna go back or not.
Right.
Now I just want to throw this out there. Now I've been to a cigar lounge years ago, to where you can go buy a stick, no problem, but they wouldn't give you a glass of water because you had to buy a bottle of water.
Bottle. Yeah.
Now tell me, does that make sense?
So you bought the cigar and they wouldn't give you a glass of water.
Correct.
Again, business-wise, I can see, they're trying to drive up their average order, but you already made a purchase, albeit it may have been a small purchase, but you're still patronizing the business. Now, if someone comes in and buys 50, 60, $100 worth of cigars, give them a glass of water. I mean,
at the bare minimum, huh?
Yeah.
Well, see, the reason why I say that, because this is sunny Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Man, you need water.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're drinking alcohol, you still need to drink water.
Right.
But they don't want to give you any water.
Right.
So I stopped going.
Makes sense.
That's just another reason why I stopped going to that one cigar lounge. So,
Okay. Well, now let me ask you this question, Mike. So you've seen a ton of cigars come through here, and you see some of them that as soon as they come in, boom, they're gone, and the other ones sit there forever.
Yeah.
And this is a cigar question.
Okay.
If you had to smoke one cigar for the rest of your natural life, that one cigar,
oh my goodness.
One cigar?
one cigar, what is that?
Doesn't have to be regular production?
Whatever it is. But that's the only thing you're gonna get to smoke from here until they toss that dirt over you.
So I'll tell you, up until maybe, I think it was a year and a half ago, the best cigar I had ever had was the Padron 88.
Oh my
Padron
goodness.
88.
Man, I'm getting ready to run out this door, Mike.
Calm down. Listen,
Smoke what you like.
I'll be 100% honest. I'm not a huge Padron fan, but there's something in that cigar with the aging process, or it could be the shape of the cigar, whatever it was, and I got it for free, so that always affects the flavor of things a little bit. But
yeah.
a little over a year and a half ago, one of my customers came in and handed me a Partagas 160. Now, Partagas 160s, I believe, have been out of production for well over a decade at this point. That is now the best cigar I've ever had. Again, it could have been because of the age, but I have never had a cigar that was so smooth, had so many different flavor notes, the cedar notes, outstanding.
Okay.
If I had to choose a cigar, and you couldn't, but if I had to choose one to smoke for the rest of my life, it would be that.
Okay.
All right. Good stick.
Yeah, that's a hell of a stick. I got a question for you. It's, I know me and you was talking yesterday, and you said something that really got me thinking. From your point of view, name me all the different flavors that you have received out of a cigar?
Wow. Geez, that could go on for
I know you can.
For hours.
I know you told me something yesterday that amazes me.
right. And we'll get to that. So it all depends on, the body of the cigar, the wrapper, the binder, the filler. I mean, you get butter, you can get hay, earth, leather, dirt, coffee. I mean, and obviously none of these things are actually in the cigar. It's just your brain associating the flavor with what it can closely represent the actual flavor to. And then you get and I'm not talking about flavored cigars.
No.
I mean, you can get all the way down to things like mint, and I had one recently that had very strong notes of graham cracker.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. He mentioned that to me yesterday, and I never heard that before. Never heard that.
I've heard it before. I think the oddest thing that I've heard in a cigar was somebody said they got notes of tomato, which I've never heard that before. Now, granted, I'm the person that made the comment. They are in the cigar industry, and their palate may be a little more defined than mine, and I got to take that for what it is. But I had never heard that. But that doesn't mean that that's not a true representation of what that blender intended.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we distort the flavors by doing other things other than what the blender intended. Meaning, we go and have a scotch or whiskey, whatever. Sometimes you should just have an empty palate,
Yeah.
and take a couple of clean draws on that stick, so you can actually enjoy what that blender, the intent of that blender.
Yeah, probably. I mean, what you're looking for the first time you ever have a cigar, you probably shouldn't drink anything stronger than water.
Right.
That way you're going to get 100% of those flavors, and there's nothing competing with it.
Right.
Now, if you go out for breakfast and you have a spicy breakfast, and then you come in and you try and smoke a Connecticut cigar, you're not going to get 100% of the flavors out of that.
Right. That's a waste of cigar.
Yeah.
You're wasting it.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's talk about blends, because I know we had this conversation before. In your opinion, in your years of being a connoisseur and working as a tobacconist, how many do you really think there are new blends that are being developed, or really old blends that are being kind of brought back to the forefront for maybe the new consumer?
I think maybe you could go both ways.
Okay.
The only way that I could see that there's a truly new blend is if somebody hybrids a new kind of tobacco.
Okay.
So you're pretty much saying like a mix of a seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it could, technically it would be a new blend. It
But
may
we
not
don't-
be a new flavor.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
But there's so many different variables that go into the tobacco flavor blend-wise that, you could smoke one cigar from one year and get the same one the next year, and it's not going to taste the same.
So
It depends on if the manufacturer is responsibly rotating their crop, whether they have a dry year or a wet year. You're going to get flavors from if the fields are near volcanic soil, or if there's a lot of what is it, phosphate in the field. I think calcium,
Yeah.
something like that. The minerals that are in the field naturally are
They're
gonna
natural,
are
yeah.
gonna not phosphate. That's weird.
well, phosphate is a Florida thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So I guess that may be when people say that the cigar has a minerally taste to it, and that's really maybe what they're picking up is the soil.
Yeah,
The nuances in the soil.
That's the nutrients from the soil.
So let me ask you this: since we're talking about soil, is there a natural made cigar from the soil in the state of Florida?
I mean, the only tobacco farm that I'm aware of in Florida is in Claremont,
Correct.
and I don't know how much of the cigar is actually made from that. I think that's just the wrapper leaf that comes from there.
Well, I just want them to hear from someone that has a little bit more knowledge than me and James, because we run across people that continue to say they make a cigar out of the state of Florida.
Not 100%.
You know, that's what we say. You know,
Right.
we don't have the complete detail, but I tell you this here, it's not 100% made in the state of Florida.
No.
So let me ask you this question. Being here in Tampa, and me and Bobby say this all the time, that we're spoiled. One, we get to kind of see cigar royalty at any given moment. They just pop
Yeah.
right into your lounge. Two, we pretty much can walk down anywhere in your 7th Ave or pretty much just about any cigar shop and get a real true Tampa hand roll. So, in your opinion, do you feel that we are spoiled? And then if we are, what is the one thing that you think that most people would not know what we spoiled in?
100% we're spoiled. It's not even a question. I mean, I grew up in Michigan. I started smoking cigars when I was away at college in Springfield, Missouri, and moved back to Michigan. And I had to drive 45 minutes to get to the nearest cigar shop in Michigan. Great store, just a little tiny store. Going back to revisit a previous question before I answer the other part. By far and away, the best customer service that I've ever received in a cigar shop. It's a little place in Bay City, Michigan called Timothy's. It was Timothy's Fine Tobacco. I think it still is.
Shout out Timothy's. I will tag you on this.
There we go. First time I ever went in, Tim was there, and I had shown up for an event. I believe it was Drew Estate. And I'm fairly new to the cigar game at that point, so I didn't realize that it's not a day-long event. You go in and I show up about noon. He goes, well, the event doesn't start for 7 hours. And I said, well, this is my first time here. He said, I'll tell you what, if you want to hang out, you can go upstairs to our members lounge. You can sit down and hang out and smoke cigars up there. And we got to talking. And I also smoke a pipe, tobacco pipe. So I bought, and I was talking to Tim about it, and from him I bought my first pipe, a corn cob pipe, $3. And Tim, knowing customer service and knowing that he had essentially had no competition, so he didn't have to offer the best customer service, but he did. When I bought that $3 pipe, Tim gave me an ounce of tobacco for free, which for a pipe is a lot of tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me a tamper and a carrying pouch.
He gave old startup kit.
Just for that $3 pipe that I bought.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So, coming back to Tampa, yes, we're spoiled. There's 100 different stores I can go to in a 45-minute radius, which is another reason I don't believe in cutting fees, because again, you don't want me in your store, I'll go 5 minutes down the road
Correct.
and find another store.
Yeah.
Why do you think we spoiled here?
The history.
Yeah.
There it is.
We're in Cigar City.
Yep.
Well, because I can add to what Mike is saying, because I know when I first started smoking, I used to go over there. I'm not gonna name the lounge, but then I met some guys, and then I started going to the store on Bush.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the customer service. It was the camaraderie of the guys that were friendly, like yourself, KJ, with the knowledge.
Yeah.
The knowledge with the Greg Bell, passed away, with the knowledge, because I wanted the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted, was the knowledge. But now this move ahead, years. Now you become manager in the store, but you take your customer service and you treat me with great service, and you treat me well. That's why I continue to come here.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no bias. I'm gonna come in and do my duties, patronize. I'm gonna sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna joke and laugh back there, but I understand the rules.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I think when we talk about customer service, and also with the consumer, they need to understand the rules of the cigar lounge.
Oh yeah.
See, and that's what I'm here to tell. Rules of the cigar lounge, and I think what a lot of people don't quite understand, and we had a conversation yesterday, there are rules that are not written down, but we know the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna let James move to this next question, because I feel, about this place here, with you here, this is my number one spot.
Hands down.
I appreciate that.
Hands down. And the reason why, and we can go back to when we was on Bush. When everybody was on Bush, it literally felt like similar to a family reunion or just a guys' night out every day.
Yeah.
Everybody was there. I remember you and you've been in cribbage and stuff. I used to go over there and watch because I didn't really understand the game, but it was like a revolving door. Everybody had their little area that they sat down. We know Greg was gonna be camped out in front of the TV, but it was just it was a family-driven environment.
Correct.
And as people move on to better parts of their careers, people don't leave lounges because they follow the staff, the management staff that kept that vibe going. And if you've noticed, a lot of people that was in Bush, they came down here because why? Because we following Chef Mike.
Yeah.
Because you treat everybody the same. And the best part about it is you can be there, but you'll come over and sit down and have a stick with us, talk about life, talk about things that's going on. We can pick your brain, and you're generous with the knowledge. A lot of places you go, people, they feel like, I got the knowledge, I'm gonna hold on to it, I don't want to give it away. But you're generous with your time and the skill set that you have. We can ask you about anything in that humidor. You don't have to walk in there to show us a cigar. You can tell us what it is. And that's a rarity in this business. You find a few lounges where you have a true tobacconist who's able to help you out, especially the new customer. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of what my question is going to. So if a new customer came in, and everybody always try to steer them to certain types of cigars based on that person's palate.
Yeah.
If I had a new smoker came in, they said, well, I'm new to cigars, I really don't want nothing too strong, but I really want to get into cigars.
Yeah.
If you had to give them 3 cigars that will help, push their cigar entry along.
Just build it, pal.
Yeah, they build it up, not destroy it in the first shot. What would you think those 3 would be?
So obviously, if someone's just starting smoking, you're not going to give them the Partagas Black Label,
Yeah.
or the, triple Maduros.
Right,
You're
yeah.
not going to, because they're going to get green with sickness, and it's going to be the last time they smoke a cigar. Now, traditionally, I would say probably over half of my customers will tell me the first cigar that they ever had was a Macanudo.
That's an old school smoker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes among more seasoned smokers, the cigar gets a bad rap. I've heard people describe it as a terrible cigar, but it's not. It's not for them.
Right.
Macanudo makes a fine product.
Correct.
It's a cigar for someone who doesn't smoke a lot.
Right. So, what's the other two cigars you think would be best?
Brand loyalty, Monte Cristo White Label.
Okay.
Again,
But those are all mild.
those are mild cigars. Those are all
Connecticut.
Connecticut wrap. Yeah. That's where you really want to stay. I mean, unless someone is comes in and says, I want something sweet, which is looking like they might not be able to do for very much longer. You're going to go with a Connecticut wrap cigar. The one, since I've named two mainstream brands, I'm going to go a little off, and I'm going to mention one of my favorites as far as a Connecticut wrap cigar goes, and that's going to be the Rosa Sharon from Southern Draw. Now,
You name the top of the line when you
Hey.
shoot, that ain't just your favorite.
right?
Yeah. That's a fan favorite.
Yeah. Southern Draw's products are all, in my opinion, worth smoking.
Now, this just add a part to that. I know you just hit the best for a new smoker. What do you think about the Southern Draw line?
I'm a big fan. We'll start there with the Rosa Sharon, nice and smooth, great creaminess to it, and it's a cigar you can smoke anytime and still appreciate the flavors in it. My favorite in the line is the Jacob's Ladder.
Mine too.
Yes.
I put that in my top 3 Maduros on the market today.
That's my top 5.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful blended cigar. Man, that's a great cigar.
Yeah. The kudzu, nice medium body. I'm just going to keep saying the same thing here. They're all worth smoking.
Yeah.
The Cedrus has a very unique flavor, almost a little pininess to it, I think.
Mhm.
Probably pair really well with IPA if you're an IPA fan.
I think that pairs well with those hops.
Yeah.
It's real hoppy and it's kind of give you that almost that weedy
Yeah.
kind of note, which is we don't see that a lot in a lot of the new sticks that are coming out.
Right.
And a lot of people forget that Southern Draw is a boutique cigar.
Yeah.
They're not mainstream.
Right.
So they only have those few lines and that's it. But they have made a significant impact in the cigar world.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the owner of the company and with Robert. Robert cares.
Mm-hmm.
And it never hurts when AJ Fernandez is behind your company.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you can get a little help from AJ,
You're doing good.
You can be all right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
let me,
go ahead.
let me ask you this here. Let's talk, because y'all just slid into pairing a cigar with beer. Now let me ask you this here. Let's talk about pairing a cigar, but not quite pairing. Is when you see someone get a very, very expensive stick, and you see them dip that thing in some cognac. What do you think about that?
I think they like to burn money. That whole tradition of dipping your cigar in any kind of liquor, whatever it is, cognac, bourbon, rum, that whole tradition that people try to claim, oh, well, that's what Winston Churchill did. Okay. They're not wrong. However, the reason Winston Churchill did that is because when he woke up in the morning, he lit his first cigar.
Right.
And it was whatever he didn't finish smoking from the night before when he put it out. Because that dude had a cigar in his mouth everywhere he could. And some places he couldn't. Who's going to tell him no?
Right.
Now, the reason that he dipped some of his cigars in alcohol was you have to look at the time period, 1945 and before, and the fact that having a cigar in your mouth 15, 16, 17 hours a day, it's going to chap your lips. So what he would do, so he could keep smoking and not have it cause him pain, was he would wrap the end of his cigar in paper towel.
Say that last part one more time till he feels, because I don't see, because a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that might not be 100% historically accurate, but he would wrap it in they may not have had paper towel at the time, but he would wrap it in something and dip the end of that, so that would then medicate his lips. So,
Yeah.
So basically came with the old school chapstick.
Yeah, they didn't have. Yeah.
So, but getting back to the point of this, when you dip a cigar in any liquid, what does it do?
You're gonna get a soggy cigar.
Yeah.